The other day, with on my show with Bradford Ferguson, we talked about the idea that information arbitrage is not going to be a thing in the future, and that you're not. It's going to be harder and harder and harder for retail investors like us to be ahead of the crowd with regard to our knowledge of a specific stock, that they're going to be able to just ask Grok or ask ChatGPT or any of the other LLMs out there. We don't call them large language models anymore. We just call them models. Did you know that? Anyway, you'll be able to ask, and what should I know about Tesla that I don't otherwise know? Well, I didn't ask Grok. I know it myself right now, and it'd be interesting to ask Grok and see what Grok would say. But I don't think it's happened yet. I don't think we've lost that information arbitrage opportunity yet. And right now, I'm going to say that there are four big, huge things that the street is not paying attention to. I mean, these are really significantly big, big deals. No, not robotaxis. No, not sales of Optimus to third parties. No, 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 no. There are four very big, multi-billion dollar deals that are coming in 2026 that the street could care less about. They're not paying any attention at all, and they add up. They add up to big money. So, what am I talking about here? They're not secrets. I mean, they are kind of, because you see, semi truck is a secret. Nobody ever talks about semi truck. People will give lists. I do this every day, right? I go look at all these different reports, and people are saying, "Well, here's all the things that Tesla's got for next year, and this is worth this, and this is worth that." And then you get to the bottom of the list, and there's no semi truck. But semi trucks are going to cost a couple of $100,000 each, maybe even more. Then there's going to be extras you're going to buy for the semi truck, and there's going to be other stuff like FSD on the semi truck. So I'm going to just say I'm going to take a minor set. Oh yeah, charging stations. Yeah, you need charging. If you're using it point to point and you want your own charging stations, you're going to buy those from Tesla. I mean, there's so many aspects of this, and of course, those trucks are going to be charging up at public charging public meaning Tesla charging stations, and they're going to use a lot of juice. So anyway, I'm going to just go really, really low. I'm going to say $50,000 profit. That would assume that the entirety of FSD probably 25% margins on a 200,000 truck alone. I'm sorry, I'm going to add $20,000 for FSD, 50,000 on the truck, 20,000 for FSD. I'm not going to count anything for charging stations. I'm not going to charge anything for extra juice. I'm not going to charge anything for extra special things on the truck. I'm just going to say $70,000 a truck, and we're going to sell 50,000 of those babies. That gets you up to 50,000 times 70,000 would be about 3.5 million, 3.5 billion. And guess what? When you're talking about 3.5 billion, you're talking about a buck a share. You're talking about more than a buck a share. I'm just going to round it down to a buck a share. No, a buck a share just for the semi truck. And that's assuming that there are no announcements next year, maybe halfway through the year, as the semi is really starting to roll out. Maybe there'll be an announcement of semi trucks in Berlin or semi trucks in Shanghai or semi trucks in India or more semi trucks in the United States. We'll have to see what happens. And then there's megapacks. Oh, yeah, Randy, everybody knows about megapacks. No, they might know about them. They might know that Tesla's in the energy business. Some people put it in their numbers, but it's kind of like an afterthought. Now, it's an afterthought for good reason. Cars are way more sexy. Right now, cars still represent about 80% of the profits of the company. You've got big things coming, Robotaxi and Optimus, that many people don't even take into consideration in their estimates of Tesla's future. But megapacks are a big deal. You see, by the end of next year, we should be at a run rate of 30,000 of these little guys, 30,000 of them a year. Now, 30,000, it's just not very many, right? Oh, yeah, but you see, the profit per megapack is probably about $300,000. So we just saw that they were 30%, and they're probably going to cost about $900,000 each. So 30, that'd be 270,000. Yeah, whatever. But there's all the extras also, downstream extras. There's arbitrage money coming in. There's maintenance coming in. All kind of stuff coming in. I'm just going to take 30,000 as a number. I'm going to multiply them. Oh yeah, they could make announcements. I'm totally expecting announcements next year of additional mega pack factories being started in all the same places, but maybe the East Coast of the United States, maybe Canada, maybe Berlin or someplace in Europe, maybe India, maybe Indonesia, maybe Australia. They're buying a lot of them down there, maybe more in China. All kinds of possibilities. I think we'll hear about at least one, maybe two. I know Brian Wang thinks it'd be at least two also. Anyway, but let's just keep our 30,000 times 30,000. It's easy. That's 9 billion. It's very close to $3 per share profit. $3 per share. No, that's $3 a share profit just from megapacks. Well, I said I wasn't going to count Optimus. No. I'm not going to count the Optimus that everybody's expecting. Everybody's expecting Optimus to be sold to third parties. It's going to sell for, rent for 100,000 a month, or rent for 30,000 a month, or 60. I've had different numbers. Right now, my latest number was 100,000, but so many people coming out with these. I'm not sure how they're going to price them in terms of the market, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Optimus replacing employees at Tesla, or maybe not replacing the need to hire more employees. But maybe some will be let go. I don't know. I'm just going to say that next year, in 2026, Optimus will have 10,000 of these babies working, and they will replace only 20,000 jobs. Now, the reality is 10,000 of them can probably replace 40,000 jobs if you're talking about 4 shifts. Okay, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go with only 10,000. I think they'll make way more than 10,000, and they might be able to put more than 10,000 to work. But let's just take 10,000 and let's assume 20,000 jobs. Now, that could be anywhere. That could be making megapacks. That could be at charging stations. That could be at retail centers. That could be at service centers. That could be anywhere in the entire, making cars, anywhere in the entire service, entire ecosystem for Tesla. Each one of those people that it replaces is $80,000. I've done this math how many times? And that would assume an employee making around $25, $30 an hour, which I think most of the people that they would replace would be making that kind of a number. So that would be 1.6 billion. No, that was $1.6 billion in savings, or 50 cents a share. Yeah, no, this is earnings. This is replacing cost of goods. So it's earnings. It goes right to the bottom line. Oh, sure, there's some cost to the stupid thing, but not that much. I'm just going to call it 50 cents a share. Okay, then we've got unsupervised, very likely happening this year, according to Elon Musk. He says it's going to happen soon. Well, when that happens, it's going to cause the number of people buying FSD or going to the $100 a month rent on FSD, the subscription. That's going to go up. Okay. I'm only going to assume that it increases it by 300,000 per year. Out of over 2 million vehicles sold, probably next year, only 300,000 more will buy it or rent it than would have bought it or rented it. I think it's going to be way more than that, but that's my number. And so that would be let's call it only 7,000 each. Could be more, could increase it. That would be about $2.1 billion in addition to profits. Now, this does not take into consideration the fact that once it's unsupervised, I think Tesla will be able to grab all the profits from prior years that are just sitting there hanging in the books. I'm not counting that. That probably happens this year, so it's not really going to impact next year. So we're talking about 100% of the profits going to the bottom line, and it might be more than $7,000 each. But we'll just take that, and that would be 60 cents a share. And it might be way more than that. Now then, you finally get to that. Those are the 4 that nobody's paying attention to. Believe me, nobody is paying. Now, I know Dan Ives. I bet Dan Ives doesn't have all that. I know Gary Black doesn't have all that. I know none of these guys are paying any attention to those four. All right. No, nobody. All right. But you can, I can, because you watch my channel, because a lot of the people that are even in our realm are not paying attention to those four. I haven't heard anybody else but me talk about the savings that Optimus is going to cause in the factories being over $1 billion a year, the first year, next year. So anyway, now we're gonna bring in Robotaxi into the mix, and I'm gonna take $20,000 a year profit per Robotaxi in the fleet. I'm not gonna. That's way low. I know I've given you numbers like $40, 40,000. A lot of people talk about it being 40,000 a year for each one of these units, and I'm not going to take the million that Elon is talking about. I'm going to take $500,000. So I'm going to cut everything in half. That would be 1 billion in profit next year, or 30 cents a share. Okay, that's just for Robotaxi. Of course, the next year it's going to go crazy, but next year, 30 cents a share. Now you add all those up and you get $5.40 a share before you get to the car sales and to services and to other. Okay. Now the best that, for comparison, the best that Tesla has ever done was 2023 when they did $4.73 a share. And none of these other businesses even existed in 2023. You might have had a few mega packs, nothing to talk about. But basically, none of these other businesses existed. And of course, it was a great year in terms of selling a lot of vehicles and getting good margins. All right. But I think we'll sell a lot of vehicles next year, and I think we'll get good margins. Why? Because Tesla's going to be the talk of the town, and people are going to be lining up to buy Teslas in next year. But just for fun, we're not going to add any vehicles. We're not going to talk about massive margins. We're not going, I always talk about vehicles, cars. We're just going to say that we equal the $4.73, which is our best ever. And we're going to add that together. And now we're at almost $10 a share. So at $10 a share, you begin to see why Brian and I, now that would be the run rate at the end of the year. We could be at the run rate of $10 a share. So $2.50 for the quarter are close to it, where people can easily see the future, it's going to be $10 a share going forward, and more than that, because you're going to be selling Optimus, and you're going to be selling, and you'll be doing a lot more Robotaxis, and everybody will be able to see it at that point. So you're going to have, at least 100 times when people begin to see this, and I think it'll be after the earnings call in January, people will be, okay, we get it. We can see where it's going here. That's why I've got my $1,000 price target. Okay, and Ryan's got a $700 price target for many of exactly the same reasons. Now, when you add in Optimus and more Robotaxis in 2027, you have a possible share price of over 2,000 by the end of the year, as people do this same math, but now they see it all. It's all in the spreadsheet. They can plug it in. They can go, okay, now we get it. Oh, and now we plug it in for 2027. Oh my gosh. We're talking $20 a share or $25. I haven't done the math recently. So this is how I get to my $1,000 a share. Tell me where I'm wrong. Well, maybe I'll be wrong that it won't be in January. I was a little bit off on my guess for May this year, wasn't I? Maybe it's going to be in August. September. Maybe it'll be October. You'll probably still be happy if it comes then, and you'll probably forgive me for that miss. But anyway, I've got my number now for next January. We'll see what happens. But that's why. That's where I get it. And you can let me know in the comments below. Right now we're at a price to earnings ratio of 180. I'm bringing that down to 100. So I don't know. We'll see. You never know until you know. And but right now I want to let you know that a couple of 3 hours ago I did a show which you may want to go back and look at, where it was basically the news of the day and what's going to happen next week. We called that show Monday Morning because we do it on Sunday night, but it's talking about what's going to happen Monday morning and all week long. And I think it was a good show. And then earlier this morning I finally was able to do that Brian Wang show from, I think it was Friday night, where something went wrong with Zoom. And he talked about these very things, how he gets to his numbers, how we also talked about the economy in general and what we think is going to happen with it. Of course, I believe that 2026 is going to be it's going to be the Roaring 20. I mean, it's going to be the 90s. It's going to be better than any of those things. It's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's all. I'm going to put those cards right there and there. Tomorrow morning, regular day. Yeah, that's all I got for you right now. I think I'm going to say it's been great talking to you.